The Silence Beneath Sycamore Street. It's strange how a single sound can haunt you for the rest of your life. For me, it was the clinking of glass. That morning, the sound came from the kitchen, quiet but distinct, like someone had set a tumbler down too hard on marble. At first, I didn't think anything of it. It was 6:07 a.m. I remember that clearly because the blinking digits on the bedside alarm were the first thing I saw when I woke up. It wasn't the noise that got me out of bed. It was the silence that followed. Our house on Sycamore Street had always been quiet, safe, the kind of home where kids rode bikes without helmets and neighbors brought banana bread just because it was Saturday. My wife, Melanie, loved it here, said it reminded her of the street she grew up on back in Vermont. I didn't have that kind of nostalgia, but I did love watching her smile when the wind picked up the scent of jasmine from the backyard. But that morning, something was different. The hall felt colder than it should have. You know how the air feels right before a thunderstorm? That's how it felt walking toward the kitchen, charged. I remember calling out her name. "Mel, you up?" No response. I figured maybe she was in the garden, or maybe she went for one of her early morning jogs. But the back door was locked, no signs of her shoes gone. The kitchen light was on though, and that's when I saw it. A single wine glass on the table, full, untouched, still sweating from the chill. Melanie never left a full glass. She savored things, even her wine. I scanned the room. Everything else looked normal, except the air felt thick, like a whisper waiting to be spoken. Then I saw the note, folded in half, resting underneath the wine glass, my name on the outside in her handwriting. Eli, just that, no flourish, no hearts over the I, just Eli. I opened it, hands already shaking before I read a word. Eli, if you're reading this, it means I couldn't tell you in person. I'm sorry. I never wanted to hurt you, but I have to do this. Please trust that I love you, but I can't keep living this lie. Mel. That was it. No explanation, no destination, no warning. And just like that, the woman I married, the woman I built a life with, vanished. At first, I didn't panic. People leave. It happens. Sometimes they just need space. Maybe she went to her sister's in Boulder. Maybe she just needed air. I waited. 1 hour, then 2. By 11 a.m., I was calling everyone, her sister, her yoga instructor, even Diane from book club. No one had seen her. No one had heard from her. And what chilled me most was that no one seemed surprised. Like they expected it. Like I should have expected it too. The police didn't take it seriously at first. "Adults are allowed to leave, sir," Officer Griggs had said, scribbling half-hearted notes in his worn-out pad. "Sounds like a domestic disagreement. Give it 48 hours. 48 hours? That's how long it takes to legally acknowledge someone's missing. But for me, those 2 days stretched into an eternity of questions. I kept going back to the note. The phrasing felt off. Mel was many things, but impulsive wasn't one of them. She planned everything, from vacation itineraries to grocery lists. She even had color-coded tabs in her spice rack. If she were going to leave, she'd have a plan. She'd pack. She'd call someone. She wouldn't just leave her wine untouched. Something wasn't right. By the time the 48 hours passed, her car still hadn't moved from the driveway. Her clothes were all there, her passport, her toothbrush, but her phone was gone. That was the only thing missing. They filed the report. She was now officially a missing person. The questions began pouring in, from the detectives, from the neighbors, from Melanie's friends, who suddenly weren't calling me by my first name anymore. They wanted to know if we'd been fighting, if she seemed depressed, if there were problems in the marriage. And the worst part was, I didn't have answers. I thought we were happy. Sure, we had our fights. Who doesn't? But there was love in our home. There was laughter. Just last week, we danced barefoot in the kitchen while spaghetti boiled over on the stove. How do you go from that to a goodbye note? Detective Caitlin Branner was assigned to the case. Early 40s, sharp eyes, a calm voice that could make you confess to sins you hadn't committed. She started digging, and with every layer she peeled back, I realized how little I actually knew. Turns out, Melanie hadn't just quit her job at the library last month. She was fired. They suspected her of embezzling nearly $10,000 from the library's donation fund. No charges were filed, no police report, just a quiet agreement to walk away. She never told me. She never even hinted. When I asked why no one mentioned it earlier, Caitlin just shrugged. Most people don't like dragging skeletons into daylight. 3 days later, they found her phone, burned. It had been torched in a fire pit near the edge of Briar Lake, about 11 miles outside of town. Nothing else was found, no wallet, no keys, no clothes. Just melted plastic, charred circuitry, and ash. Detective Branner didn't say it, but I could see it in her eyes. That was the first real sign they started to suspect me. Because of course they did. Husband, no alibi, no forced entry, perfect motive. She was leaving. Perfect opportunity, alone in the house. And then there was the money. Turns out Melanie had a life insurance policy through the city. I didn't even know about it. $250,000. I was the sole beneficiary. No one believes you when you say you didn't know. They think you're playing dumb. They think you're covering tracks. Day 9, after she vanished, I woke up to police tape outside my front door. They were executing a warrant. They combed through every room. They scraped beneath the kitchen tiles, pulled up the carpet in the guest room, even drained the koi pond Melanie loved so much. They found nothing, but that didn't stop the whispers. The neighbors stopped waving. The barista at Grounds and Glory started spelling my name wrong on purpose. Even the mailmen avoided eye contact. Guilt sticks to you even if you didn't do anything wrong. And the worst part? I started doubting myself. I'd replay every moment of the past few weeks over and over in my head. Her laugh, that wine glass, the note. What was real? What was for show? Had she been planning this for months? Was she trying to frame me? Or was someone else framing us both? 2 weeks in, Detective Branner called me back in. She slid a photograph across the table. It was grainy, clearly from a security camera. The timestamp read 03:47 a.m., the same morning Mel disappeared. In the photo was a woman, wearing Melanie's hoodie, walking alone near the intersection of Elm and 4th. But here's the part that chilled me. The woman wasn't walking away from our house. She was walking toward